What is going on, Life Fitness Coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives Make Money Online Training Podcast. It's your boy, Brian Mark. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how you have a choice, even if it feels like you do not. Now, I'm actually excited because I'm coming at you guys from my office. All right. I haven't used my office in probably a year. It's literally been in my house, a room that just like got built and then got forgotten because I kind of lost touch with it. Like I didn't feel good to be in here. And I think I just outgrew the space. So I haven't sat in here for a literal year. And so I got one of my boys. I basically designed the vision for the room. Like I decided what I wanted on the walls, what kind of desk I wanted, and I didn't settle, I didn't compromise. After going shopping to like 10 or 15 different places, I couldn't find the exact materials that I wanted. So I literally ordered everything online. I got this giant ass lawyer desk that I'm fucking excited about. It's like a U-shaped desk and setting up a podcast studio in here. And it's like 85% done. There's a couple things that still need to be installed, but I'm pretty fucking happy about it. And I just want to say that. Now, this conversation of you have a choice, even if you don't feel like it, comes because when I was at the gas station this morning, getting my morning coffee, as I always do, I saw a guy sitting in the back of a truck. And it was a work truck, and he was on his way to a job. He was filling up his gas tank. He was sitting in the back of a work truck. And I just had this feeling when I looked at him, and I'm like, I wonder if he wants to be doing that, you know? Like, I wonder if he wants to be going to the job that he's going to today. Because I feel like a lot of us do things out of obligation because we feel like we have no choice. And, if I were to have a conversation with this individual, which I didn't, but if I were to have a conversation with this individual, I would ask him, do you want to go to work today? Like, do you want to do what you're doing today? The likely response would have been, well, it pays the bills. I have to. And that to me is such a fucking interesting concept because it's been 11 years since I've had an actual quote unquote actual job where I got paid a dollar amount in exchange for hours of my life. And I think that so many of you listening to this podcast right now are working at jobs because you feel like you have to. And that I honestly get that. Like that makes sense when we have a conversation out loud about it because you've got a mortgage, you've got bills, you've got car payments, you've got gas, you got to feed your family. I understand all of those things. I want to go into that belief and I want to shift a couple things for you. So, the first thing that I can agree on when it comes to the idea that you have to is we live in a society where you have to use money in exchange for goods. That is a fucking truth. Okay. So I cannot just live in my house for free just because I'm handsome, have a nice beard, and I'm jacked. I can't go to my landlord or I can't go to the bank and be like, hey, can you guys help me buy a house? Because damn, I look good. Like that doesn't work in today's day and age. So I understand why we feel the need to get money because we live in a world where you cannot exist without money. It just doesn't happen. It cannot exist. And for everybody that says like money doesn't buy happiness, I agree with that statement completely. But having more money alleviates a lot of stress, which leads to more happiness. So you have to get money because you have to pay the bills and you have to do all these things. That is something that I agree on. And that is something that is universal for every single person on the planet. But I think that belief oftentimes gets tied into the belief that I have to work at this job as well. And that is not true. So I want to separate the idea in your mind of like, you have to make money in order to live. That is a truth. I agree with that. But you do not have to work at the place that you're currently working at in order to get that money. You can do something different. You can do something different. So why do people get stuck in is my question. Well, first things first is I think that for a lot of people that end up driving to work and, working 9 to 5 for a job that they're not happy about, I truly believe that you don't believe that you have a choice. I think the reason that people don't choose a different alternative is because you honestly believe that you do not have a choice. And because you believe that you do not have a choice, that you must go to the place that you are going to work at today, even though you might not like it, even though you might not enjoy it, even though you might not be passionate about it, you just continue to live this life where you're just on repeat. And it's like a fucking Groundhog Day where every single day you wake up and do the same shit. And then you go to bed the next day, only wake up and do the same shit. And if somebody were to come to you and ask you, why are you doing this? You're like, I have to. I agree. You have to pay the bills. You don't have to do the shit that you're doing though, in order to pay them. You can do something different. Now, I believe that the reason that most people feel like they have to work at a certain job in order to make the money that they need to make is because you do not possess the skills that are required to do something different. That's the only reason. Because if you knew how to make a post on social media and how to get people to reach out to you and how to get on the phone with a potential client and get them to send you $1,000 for a fitness program, and you could do that twice a week and you do that every week and you were making $8,000 a month, there's no fucking way you would drive to work for somebody else. There's no fucking way. You would pursue online coaching as a full-time career because you get to, right? And by the way, I want to shift this conversation for 1 second too, because I feel like there's a lot of online fitness coaches that really fucking take for granted how cool it is to be an online coach. If you're an online coach and listen to this right now and you're like, oh my God, I have so much stuff to do today. Motherfucker, you literally get to post on social media, interact with people, and get paid. And you're doing what you love. What the fuck? Why are we complaining, right? If you're an online fitness coach and you're complaining about doing the work that's going to help you build your dream life, I have nothing to say to you, okay? This conversation is not for you right now. You need to go in the mirror and give your head a shake because there's 95% of society right now on Tuesday morning when you're listening to the recording are driving to work at a place that they don't like, feeling like they're trapped because they have to pay the bills. And so if you are an online fitness coach and you get to post on social media, you get to make money from your Instagram, you get to get paid by doing what you love, you do not stop fucking complaining, okay? This is a different conversation. Now, for those of you that are currently on your way to work right now, and you're listening to this, the only reason you're going to that job is you don't possess the skills necessary to post on social media, get clients, and make money. Because if you had the skills to do so, you would do so. Now, when we think about that idea of like the only difference between me and you is I just developed the skill. That's it. And there's an extension of time in that as well. Like if me and you if you tried to be a business coach right now for online fitness coaches, you would now be competing against my 5 years of experience, which would be difficult for you. So I wouldn't recommend it. But so it's like, it's not just that I need to develop the skill, but I also need to give it time. So like skills plus time equals you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. But the sad reality is that you right now, I don't know what your age is. You can tell me what your age is if you want to. If you're tuning in right now, you can just tell me what your age is in the comments. Dude, I'm 32. I turned 33 this year. It's fucked up. All right. I'm all sorts of fucked up about that. That's a weird concept. And the reason that I, at 32 years old, am as committed to my vision as I am right now is because I know that if I just continue developing the skill over time, I will get to the level that Gary Vaynerchuk is at, that Alex Hormozi is at, Ed Mylett is at, that Andy Frisell is at. I know that for a fact. Like it will happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And it's because I'm pouring into myself, you guys, right? I'm pouring into like myself. I'm pouring into self. Now you are not pouring into self every time you drive to work for somebody else and you work for 8 hours a fucking day. And then when you get off work, you're too tired or you're too lazy or you're too exhausted to work on your online coaching business. You are not pouring into self. You're pouring into somebody else because whatever fucking company that you work for is paying you $20 an hour and they're taking home 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand in profit a month and you're helping them build their vision. Congratulations. And I understand why you're doing it because you feel like you have to, but you don't. You do have to pay the bills. That is something that I can agree with, but you do not have to use the vehicle that you're currently using to make the money in order to pay the bills. Now, I want to talk to the people that are like, that makes sense, Brian, but I can't just pursue online coaching. I have a family to take care of. I have bills to pay. It's not that easy for me. I understand. And I'm also going to say, if that's you, if you're like, it's not that easy for me, I have a family, I want you to think about giving your family the life that you currently have for the next 15 years. This is called scared straight, you guys. I was talking to Nick Comodina about this. I'm like, this is how I live my life. He's like, that's called scared straight. I'm like, good. This is me scaring you straight, okay? For the next 15 years, I just want you to imagine that you're giving your life, giving your family the life that you currently have. You're making the money that you're currently making at this moment in time. You're able to give your family as much money as you're currently giving them right now. You get the same amount of time that you currently get with your family right now for the next 15 years. Are you happy with that? If the answer is yes, because you're in the Change Lives Academy and you're growing, high five, good shit. But if the answer is no, then solve that fucking problem. Like do something about it. And I'm not saying that you need to quit your job right away, because if you're currently driving to work right now because you feel like you have to, I agree, you have to pay the bills, but you don't have to use the same vehicle that you're using to pay the bills. You can do something different and you have extra time in a day. Like, here's the benefit of working 9 to 5 for somebody else is they're only legally allowed to give you 9 to 5. Okay. That's the benefit of living in society, even though fucking Canada takes a lot of my fucking money in taxes. We're not talking about that. What we are talking about is the benefit of living in Canada is the fact that you can only legally make me work for 8 hours a day. And so we're also human beings. And in order to function, we need to sleep and wake up. So we need to sleep for 8 fucking hours. I get it. I sleep for 8 hours, sometimes 7. That's besides the point. So you sleep for 7 or 8, you work for 8, you have 8 more fucking hours. Let's just pretend that you're doing 2 hours of commuting per day, or 2 hours of like dropping your fucking kids off soccer practice or whatever. That still gives you another 6 hours. Okay. Here's a fucking fun fact that you guys might like. If you put 2 hours of intense study every day into something for a period of a full year, you'll be a national level expert. It's Brian Tracy for you. Okay. You put 2 hours of dedicated study into something for a full fucking year. By the end of the year, you'd be a national level expert. Think about the idea of that for a second. Like, if I boxed for 2 hours every day for 12 months straight, I would be like a national level competitor. It's not that fucking hard. It's not that hard. And for me, there's really 2 ways to break free. And I honestly, like, I count myself fucking lucky literally every day. And this sounds weird, but I'm lucky that I had a drug addiction. Like, I am lucky, because I think that for me, hitting rock bottom, I didn't have any other choice but to succeed. Like, I did have a choice, but the choice was either like drugs in jail or success. And I was like, I'm not going to drugs in jail. So let's do success. And that's why I just like relentlessly fucking started pouring into myself. Meditations, gratitudes, visualizations, going for runs, imagining my dream life, right? But I feel like a lot of you don't make the choice to level up your life. And the sad reality is that you're waiting for it to be as so bad you can no longer tolerate it, which to me, I think is obscene. Like, why would you wait until it gets so bad that you can't take it anymore? Why not do something about it today, right? Why not recognize that you have a choice? You could literally choose to live a different life. You could literally choose to be a full-time online fitness coach. You could literally choose to make money while you're working from home. And then you get to drop your kids off at fucking school every day. And then you get to pick them up from school every day. And then you get to watch your kids grow up instead of getting 2 hours a day with them when you get off your fucking job. And for those of you guys that have families that can't just quit your fucking job, like, dude, like, wake up 2 hours earlier, work on your shit, go to work 9 to 5 for someone else, get home, spend time with your family. And when the kids go to bed, do another fucking hour. And do that for a year, and you'll be a national level expert. You have a choice. You can choose. You can decide. You don't need to just blindly fucking follow the herd because everybody else does it. Like, I never wanted to be like everybody else. I don't want to be another fucking cog in the machine. I don't want to be somebody that gets forgotten. And somebody that gets forgotten is somebody that does nothing with their life. You just blend in with the rest of the fucking crowd. That for me has never been an acceptable reality. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to be something different. I wanted to provide my grandma with the life that she deserves. I wanted to provide myself with the life that I deserve. I wanted to provide my family with the life that I deserve. I get to decide. I choose. And it's like, this is the truth. This is the fucking truth about it. It's like an every day you need to choose. It's not just one day, it's every day. Every single day I make the choice to be the very best version of myself, to work on my skills, to hone my craft, to learn, to get better, to evolve. You have a choice. You can get better. It doesn't have to be the way that it is right now. And if you're listening to this right now and you are unsatisfied with your current condition, I want you to understand that up to this moment, you have been choosing that condition. Now, you may have feel like you didn't have a choice and so you had to choose it, but you always have a fucking choice. You always have a choice. There's a girl in my Instagram stories right now. Her name is Darla. She was following me for years, 3 years before she decided she was going to pursue her dream of being a full-time online coach. And for her to make that choice was fucking hard because the Change Lives Academy, it's not a cheap program. We ain't fucking McDonald's. And so she joined and it was really scary. And 3 months in, she hit her first $5,000 a month. Now she gets to choose. Now she's working from her fucking cell phone, posting on social media, making money. It's a choice. And for those of you guys that are listening to this right now that are my clients, dude, thank you so much for trusting me. And when did you get so complacent? When did you decide that like making 5K was enough? When did you decide that making 10K was enough? You get to choose. Don't you understand that there's people in the program that are making 25K, 50K, even 100K per month? Maybe you don't have aspirations of being a millionaire, but like, why would you not choose more financial freedom? You get to decide. And I know that you may feel right now like you don't have a choice, right? Because you're like, well, that's not true. Because if I had more followers, then I would have more money. And like, I don't get to choose how many followers that I have. Yes, you do. Yes, you get to choose your income level. And if your income isn't growing because your social media isn't growing, because your content isn't getting enough views, then you can choose to get more views on your content by studying content. You can choose to show up to content audits every fucking week. You can choose to post in the group and ask for feedback. You can choose to do content research to figure out what's popping and replicate that content. You can fucking choose. You always get to decide. So if you are unsatisfied with your current condition, I want you to understand that you are choosing your current condition. It's time to make a different choice. Even if you don't feel like it right now, I want you to understand that you can always make the choice to change your life. You can always make the choice to get better. You can always make the choice to evolve, to become a higher level version of you. I don't want you to be another cog in the machine that gets forgotten. I don't want your kids to look up to someone else because they don't look up to you for going after your dreams. I don't want you to feel trapped in a job because you feel like you have to be there in order to pay the bills. I do agree that you need to pay the bills, but I do believe that you can choose the vehicle that you pay the bills with. That's it. That's all. I hope you guys have the best day of your entire motherfucking lives. I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.